Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expanders Club podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey of exploration, of discovery, of just understanding what the heck this life is all about. And today we have a really fun guest, Carolyn Yachanin. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. She is the founder and CEO of Copina Co.
Caroline was such a great guest. Carolyn Yachanin, I think. And that's, but so close.
Leave it to the Australian to get it right.
I mean, I speak a different language and I can pronounce that one. Nah.
I think it was more my handwriting I was having a hard time reading.
That is, I will attest to
Sorry,
that.
Carolyn.
Your handwriting would be the issue.
Sorry, Carolyn. But she is the founder and CEO of an amazing company called Copina Co. And they make several different products, all designed around the idea of beauty from within. Mads, did you have a chance to try any of her products? I have a favorite.
Oh, I tried her sea moss, but I haven't tried her plant-based collagen support yet. Have you tried that one?
Yes, the collagen support. I actually have known Carolyn for a while, and so I've had her product before, and then just after our conversation started to use it again, and it is good. I really like it. The collagen support, I would say, is my favorite of her products. I use the unflavored one, or the original, I think they call it on the website. And I add it into my matcha in the morning, and I've replaced the collagen I was putting in there, especially after Carolyn breaks down, where collagen actually comes from and how it's made, and that is fairly unappealing. So
I know. And until then, it felt like that was the only option. People you need to get collagen, you need to replenish your source of collagen because that's down, degrading through as you age.
Yeah.
And, you think that the only way to get it is through animal sources, through cow hide, bovine hide, good God. Literally the skin of a cow and mashed up chickens, legs.
Oh God.
And fish, marine collagen as a source. And I understand, but it does sound pretty gross. So if we can get a plant-based collagen support option to help replenish our sources, you best believe I'll be choosing that.
And it's tasty. And she actually talks about in the episode how, and I've heard this before, but collagen, when you're actually consuming collagen, it's not a one-to-one, okay, now you're replacing your own need for collagen with that collagen. Your body actually doesn't really process it in a way that's as effective as it's marketed. Collagen does have protein, so there's great reasons to take it, but it's not really a supplement for your own collagen, even though that's what has been marketed to us.
What a marketing ploy.
Totally. And her product is made from different plants that actually help stimulate your body or trigger your body to increase or improve the production of your own collagen. So scientifically, it just makes way more sense. And like I said, I've been adding it to my matcha, and it just adds this nice creaminess, not a lot of flavor, which is good because I love the flavor of my matcha as is. And it's just so easy to use.
That's so good. And her sea moss refreshers, they're delicious. But I've had so many people ask about sea moss, and I know she goes into it in the episode, but it's one of those interesting, do we call it a superfood? So that's meant to be super powerful.
Yeah, it has, anti-inflammatory benefits. It has anti-aging benefits. It makes a bunch of claims that you read them and you're like, really? Um, but we
So
know,
good.
it's like a seaweed type food, and we know that those plants have a ton of benefits. But you can imagine by the name sea moss, it doesn't sound super appealing, and it usually like is pretty nasty tasting. Like there's a strong smell to it. It doesn't taste good. It's slimy. And so if you're like me and you want the benefits, but you're not willing, like I'm not a wheatgrass girl, or like I'm not willing to like really consume things that taste terrible. Like that's just not what I'm going for. But I want the wellness. She is the first one to make it in this like really accessible, delicious format that is this powdered sea moss. You just add it to water and then you drink it. Like I think they call them refreshers, sea moss refreshers, but it is like just a nice little drink to add to your daily routine.
Yeah, that makes it much more approachable instead of eating the moss of the ocean off the ocean floor. As,
Yeah.
delectable as that sounds.
Yeah, no, I don't think many of us are quite there. What and like the glow from within is something I totally buy into, as you
Mm.
know, Mads. Like how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, our skin is such an indicator of our health, and we speak about this in the episode. And I know for myself, I know exactly when something's off in my body, my microbiome, my skin is breaking out. I look at my skin in the
Mm-hmm.
morning and I wake up
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay, I am prone to rosacea. And when that shows up on my cheeks, I know, okay, I've not been consuming what my normal clean diet. And it's just so, obviously, a clean skincare routine is obviously so important. And there's so many other factors, but what you're putting into your body is so, so clear and such a great indicator of actually where you're at.
Oh yeah. I mean I can see it on my skin right away. If I've like processed sugar shows up immediately the next day.
Yeah.
I had this client once when I first started the juice company, and I was doing all kinds of crazy things just to make money, and she lived in Palos Verdes, so it's like deep in Palos Verdes. Like it's a hike to get there, and she would order like 5, 7, 10 day cleanses all the time, and those were good money, especially like early days when like
Yeah.
every single dollar counted. And so I would drive to this woman's house, like, and she's spending like 3, 4, $500 on a cleanse. I drive to her house, drop off the cleanse, like always have a chat with her and like pet her little dogs. And every time she'd be like, I can't, I love the cleanse because it keeps me off the sugar. Like I can't stop eating candy. She loved Skittles and Twizzlers and all of the things. And she was like, the second I start, I can't stop. And she's like, I like the cleanse because I don't, I restrict myself and I don't do it and I don't even crave it. And then so for a few months I would go up and visit her, and she'd get back on the cleanse. She'd have like a relapse into sugar world and get back on the cleanse. And I talk to her about how it causes inflammation and cancer and all the terrible things that like her, overconsumption of sugar could do for her. Nothing worked until one day it just like came to me as I was chatting her, and I was like, sugar causes wrinkles, right? And she literally like jaw dropped and stopped cut out sugar right then and there. That was like all she needed to hear, was that sugar causes wrinkles, and it does, and it causes our skin to age. And there's a lot of scientific reasons what it's doing to the cells, but um yeah, I think
Oh my gosh.
there's a layered approach, right, to like glow from within. It's like, what are you putting in for the good to benefit it, and like also making sure you're not putting in the bad stuff. Like our skin is such a reflection of, like you said, of like our overall wellness. And if you're eating a bunch of processed food, fried food, sugar, you're not going to have glowing skin, babe. Like no way.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is so evident when you're drinking alcohol. And I
Mm,
know this, if back in the day, I remember just waking up and feeling like, oh my gosh, I've aged so much. And it like dries
yes.
out your skin. It's like
Yes.
it's taking the moisture out of your skin to like hydrate your body because
Yeah.
you're depleting it of that. And yet you can physically see the aging.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Any favorite glow ups outside of Copina Co for you?
I've been dialing in. Oh, what have I been drinking? I've been drinking green, this new, not AG1 anymore. I've got this
Ooh,
one, Live It Up. I know she
the
stepped
hot
over to
scoop.
the other
Okay.
side.
Okay, okay.
It's got like a minty flavor. Live It Up Greens. It's pretty good. I've been drinking that every morning. And then I also put salt water in my water in the morning. But do you know what? I've been
Minerals,
doing
yeah.
that in minerals. I've been doing that when I was in LA, but now that I've been back in Australia, my brother was telling me that the salt content in the water is actually really high here, and you don't need to add salt to your water.
Interesting.
I mean,
Hmm.
there's something to look into there, but this must be something in the water here, Brooke, because I was telling you, my skin has cleared up
Yeah.
significantly since I've been in Australia. 3.5 weeks or maybe 4 weeks I've been here. And before I left, like it's actually shocking. I took before photos because I knew that this was not normal. And I had completely broken out. And I've been having bad skin struggles for the last 6 months. And obviously, it's a lot of things like what I'm consuming, stress, which also impacts what you're
Mm-hmm.
consuming, and just in general environment, water, etc. And since being on, we must call it a bit more of a relaxed schedule here in Australia, and splashing my face with fresh, clear water, it's cleared up so much. My skin, it's actually incredible. And I'm like, oh, wow, I feel better. And it's
Yeah.
evident on my skin. And
Yeah.
that is just living proof of what is going on inside of my body right now.
Yeah. So many factors there, but like even just like the less environmental toxin, like the air quality,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff we need to fix over here. But I think about food, my experience with cold pressed juice was one of the first places that I saw it was on my skin. And that was,
Yes.
as you know, like when we were drinking cold pressed juice every day, like we were glowing.
Oh
Um,
my gosh. Your skin has always been glowing. Like that's something about you. I'm like, wow, you barely have a blemish. You have very youthful looking skin. And I do say, yeah, your juicing was probably such a big part of that.
Thank you. Keep the compliments coming, please.
You're welcome.
But no, I do. I would say 95% of it is consumption, what you put in.
Hmm.
And I'm not perfect with that either, but also like the amount of water you drink, adding minerals to the water, doing matcha instead of coffee. There's a lot of reasons that both you and I do matcha instead of coffee, but matcha has like glow skin, skin benefits. Just getting enough greens. Like when you are on greens and like having green juice or green smoothies or consuming a lot of greens, like you absolutely see that difference in your skin. I
Oh
would
my
say
gosh.
I would attribute more of my skin quality to what I'm consuming than my beauty products, even though I'm serious about my beauty products and
Oh yeah.
do not chintz on them. But the mushrooms,
But
the adaptogens, like all of those
mhm.
things are, they're definitely impacting the skin.
Yeah, well, even if you're using the best skin products and you've fully dialed in your skin routine, if you're then still eating crappy foods,
Right,
processed
right,
foods,
right.
it's still never going to be as healthy or clean skin as, yeah, otherwise. You have to really start with the gut.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think once you do it consistently, you really, like you said, you can really like look in the mirror and see the difference. And that's a good motivator too to keep doing it. Right. Um,
Yeah, I know. I think it's like that direct result. You're seeing it
mm-hmm.
so in your
Mm-hmm.
face, where it's like when there's more of a long term, risk, you're less likely to actually take that seriously. Just as that this lady proved. The wrinkles, she don't want that. We don't want that.
Exactly. Cut out the
That
sugar,
gets me.
replace, yeah. Yeah. Cut out the sugar, eat some greens, matcha, Copina Co. You know, you'll be glowing in no time, folks.
We're here for the glow. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is a great episode, and we're excited for you guys to learn more about her incredible products and Carolyn's amazing journey herself with her skin and all of the things that she used to do, taking medication, using certain things on her skin, that she went through doctors after doctors and was able to heal it herself through her health. And so it's such an interesting story.
Yeah, it's a great story. She's built an incredible brand and products, and she is just a lovely, incredible human. And I think we actually recorded this a few months ago, so I think she's actually due any day. So sending the good vibes to Carolyn and her little bun in the oven that's maybe out of the oven or soon to be. Give her a follow on Instagram at Copina Co and support them on their website, copinaco.com.
Nice.
Thanks.
All right, guys, enjoy. Hello, Carolyn. So lovely to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're thrilled. So much to talk about today, but I think where we would love to start is to hear more about your health journey. And obviously, we know you're the founder of Copina Co, and we would love to hear how that led you to starting your business.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of larger picture of the business, and my personal mission with it, which is really connected to the health journey, is really want to make plants cool and fun and not intimidating. And
We
I
love
want more
that.
people. Yeah, like I think so many people are kind of like, what are these weird herbs? What are these weird things? Is this going to taste bad? And so really want to make plants, which changed my life, fun and accessible and something that's very approachable for people. My health journey started in my almost my teen years, actually. So I had the pleasure of having very severe acne for years and years. Oh my gosh, so much time, starting in middle school, essentially, and went on pretty severe medication for it, even at a young age. And I really hope it's not this way now. But at the time, there wasn't necessarily, when you go into a dermatologist's office, at least in my experience, wasn't necessarily discussion of the impact, the long-term impacts that things like, years of oral antibiotics to heal acne would, the impact of that on your body, or, taking things like spironolactone. So all these retin-A, all these different things. So I had really terrible acne for years and years, and then I started taking these heavy medications. Then I started noticing when I was, in my teen years and college, like, gosh, my digestion's really bad, and I really don't feel good. And I'd also done Accutane at that point, and my acne still wasn't going away. And so it was really just some of these skin health challenges and acne, which, after years of frustration, being on sort of a merry-go-round of, the endless whack-a-mole game of like just trying different things to heal the symptoms. Finally realized this is not working. I don't want to just keep doing the same thing. And started hearing more about root cause medicine. Started reading about I had this amazing book, and the name escapes me at the moment, but it was on the founder of Pratima Skincare wrote this book on Ayurveda and beauty, and it was the first time that I heard it sounds so obvious, but it was the first time I heard anyone talk about how your skin is a reflection of your internal health. And I was like, wow, this makes so much sense, but holy cow. And, that my skin is connected with my mood, my gut health issues, all these things. And so I started seeing a holistic doctor, which I remember, my friends are all like, what's that? What the heck? What are you doing? And this is like 2016.
Wait, I was going to say, how old are you at this stage? And are you just kind of following the cookie crumbs on your own? Were your parents like advocates and helping? What did that look like?
My parents were always really, hey, my mom meant the best for me by taking me to a doctor,
Absolutely.
right? My dermatologist.
Yes.
But yeah, I think they just saw that I was so upset. I was about 25 at this point, and I was like, man, still having really severe acne. What the heck is this? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a teenager. So no, I think I started listening to some podcasts. I've always really liked the Rich Roll podcast. He's had a lot of different people on talking
Oh,
about
he's
kind
my
of
favorite.
plant-based living. And then I think
Maddie has
even
a secret crush on Rich Roll.
oh really?
I adore him, and I owe so much of my health journey to him. He's a huge
He's
reason
amazing.
I went
Yeah.
plant-based.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that.
Yeah. And he has some really cool guests on. Like his story is incredible. I think there was someone who came on, even the Skinny Confidential podcast, which I wouldn't necessarily always associate with being like the most woo woo.
Totally. Yeah.
They have really cool guests on, and they had someone, and he was like, "I got a functional medicine test. I, found out all these things about my body, and I remember going to my normal doctor and saying, well, I'm not really knowing what it was. I was like, I want a functional medicine test, and they were like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I want to test my gut, and I want to see what's going on. And they said, oh, no, we can't cover that. We can't do that. That's gastro. So you have to, do all these things.
So
I went to,
fragmented. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And, I think they had one internal medicine or one holistic doctor that would come and consult like once a month or something. And that was all and they had a waiting list of like 9 months to see this person. So I went to go see a holistic doctor on my own, kind of, not really knowing what to expect. And basically we found out that a lot of, the things that I was, my energy levels, my skin was also so dry after all these really heavy things that I was putting into my body and on my skin. My dry skin was really an issue, my gut, my mood too. And she was like, asking me questions like, tell me, do you meditate? Do you do walks? What kind of herbs are you taking? What's your diet like? Were you breastfed as a child? Really interesting things. And I was like, what, why are you asking this? And I think everyone should be asked this now, but, and she started, instead of taking really harsh medication, started giving me plant, extracts, plant acids, things like this that really helped me heal from within. And I was inspired, of course I had my own unique health mix, which I think, isn't necessarily something that everyone else has. But I was really inspired by, okay, our skin is a reflection of our internal health. Yet the beauty industry focuses on covering up all the time. What's up with that?
Yep.
And I was obsessed with the facts that all of these plant botanicals, which tasted pretty bad, but they did, existed, and they had amazing benefits. And I was like, wow, what if there are all of these amazing things that can really help people's skin, my skin, my dry skin after all of these issues really just transformed itself. And I was inspired to bring a plant-based beauty product that focused on beauty from within, really focused on getting it right inside, and then knowing that your skin is a reflection of your internal health. And so that's where the idea for coming up with a plant-based collagen support came out of this whole health journey. And that was my first product.
And how lucky are we this day and age that these products, someone like you had that journey, created this product. It's beautiful. Your packaging is beautiful. The product is delicious, or even that product itself is mostly tasteless. So you can put it in anything. It's so accessible. Where when you were coming up on your health journey, I think my first health journey was probably similar times. And my husband was going through one at that time. We were just dating then, but he had eczema and skin issues. I had gut issues. And I'm sure you can relate to this, we used to come home from these like medicine men and women that we were seeing, who now would be considered holistic doctors, and have like baggies of herbs and like weird little things that smelled weird. And like basically they'd pull like jars out of the cupboard and mix stuff for us. And it was not a pleasant situation. And you were just like trusting these people to like, okay, you have 20 unmarked jars and you just mixed it all into a bag. And now you want me to do what with it?
Like put this into my body.
Yes. Yeah. And just like, and it all always worked and was incredible, but like a very different experience than what we have access to now. And a lot of it is thanks to people like you going on this journey, empowering themselves, and then being like, man, I need to share this with the world. And like, thank you for doing it in a way that is beautiful and accessible and easy for all of us to incorporate.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's kind of, did you grow up in California, Brooke? Or
I
where'd you grow
didn't.
up?
No, I grew up on the East Coast, but my health journey started there. I just didn't know it. But I didn't like discover. I probably in a similar path to you. Like I accidentally found a holistic nutritionist who kind of led me. I was having gut issues, not knowing what was wrong with me, migraines, all those things. And it came down to what I was putting in my body, which
Yeah.
is so crazy. So crazy. The most important thing we do every day, yet we feel we have so little power around. I mean, we have all the power, but we give ourselves so little power around it.
Mm-hmm.
And Mads, I'm sure you see this with clients. I mean, Maddie's a coach. I'm sure you see this with clients all the time. Like, why is it so hard for us to feel empowered around the decisions that we make of the foods and items that we put into our body?
Yeah, but people also they can't fully see the correlation. Like for you to understand that it was related from your skin to your gut is incredible, because most people I speak to, they're like, I just have had bad skin and I just change up my skin routine.
Yep.
And it's still needing to be educated. People need to be educated on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's kind of a similar thing too, to you, or kind of a family history of something. It's easy to say, well, I'm just going to get that, and that may not be the case. And also with these things, another thing too is, something like these prescriptions. They say, well, it's going to work in 2 weeks, or you're going to see this effect right away, and that oftentimes doesn't last, or doesn't isn't actually the case. But when you're healing holistically, like it's a journey. It's not. It's something you have to commit to for a few months. But it was interesting. I was hearing you talk, Brooke. So I grew up in the SF Bay Area, and my sister went to Cal. She was at Berkeley. Like my parents have always been, into vegan food. Though they weren't 100% vegan, they just got really into health after my uncle had passed away from a heart attack, even though he's a marathoner and he was in his 40s.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And we really just started eating a lot healthier as a family. But it was so funny because back in the day, I'd kind of trace this to like Cafe Gratitude's journey. Because for me, I remember going there. My sister was at Cal when I was in high school. And I remember wanting to go to Cafe Gratitude. And it was just the most granola experience. They're like, everybody has was not necessarily choosing to wear deodorant there, kind of thing. There's the juicer, there's all this, and you're having the dehydrated flax crackers with the microgreens and all the things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's so beautiful. But I think what's happened in the last 15 years has been that it's gotten a glow up. Like the Cafe Gratitude, for example, and sort of plant-based that I remember from growing up in the SF Bay Area and going to day trips to Berkeley is very different from the very sleek thing that I see in Southern California now. But it's like, I think it invites people in. There's nothing wrong. Some people may be like, oh, it's not as authentic as it used to be, or blah, blah, blah. But, it invites people in, and people get intrigued by, okay, this is something I can, look at, and it looks pleasant. It tastes good.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
And it's cool, and it's just accessible.
Yeah.
Like it's the difference between you used to walk into the most hippie corner smoothie bar to now like Erewhon.
Yes.
Whole Foods.
Well,
yes.
I would almost ask you, and Carolyn, you and I have had kind of a side chat about this a little bit before, but now I know you've had a really cool and I hope successful experience with Erewhon. But Erewhon, as an example, like, has it gotten too trendy? Like you compare it to that granola thing where you're like I don't think that was it either. And I'm so glad it's evolved. And again, there's like so many accessible products, but like, is it getting too cool to be like, have these extremely healthy things and to have them be overpriced and to, charge brands that are participating in things at a grocery store tens of thousands of dollars to participate, and like have
Brooke's got opinions
celebrities.
here.
And no, I'm just curious, because now that's a turnoff too to certain people when it's not. It feels like now it's for the elite or not as accessible.
I totally hear what you're saying, and there's definitely a lot to be said about that. One thing I will say that I think is really cool, and I love the team at Erewhon, and do I go there for all my groceries? No, but do I love getting inspired? And it's probably good that I don't live in LA, because my proximity to Erewhon might affect my wallet. But
Totally.
but what I do think is so cool, and our brand was part of, they do these celebrity smoothies, right? And they're $19 smoothies, but they get people interested in having a smoothie. So we were part of the Miranda Kerr smoothie. And I actually personally did a ton of demos in the stores at that time. And I was starting my pregnancy too. So I was pretty tired.
Wild.
But,
Yes.
but it was such a great opportunity for us. We were a small business. And I was thinking, I was like, who are the people coming into the stores? And I love talking to the store teams there, and everyone at their stores is so nice. Like everyone's just amazing. But I was talking to them, and they were saying literally, okay, Erewhon members, of course, people who buy a membership, they get a free smoothie. But they said, honestly, most of the people are people who are coming into LA for the first time. And they're like, what do you want to do in LA? I want to go to, I want to go to see the Hollywood sign, and I want to get the Hailey Bieber smoothie.
It's a tourist
experience.
Cool.
Because I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah. And, sure, it's expensive. It's, whatever. It's all these things. But I will say, kind of gets people interested in, okay, I'm going to walk into the store, and maybe I'm not going to be, buying the $19 smoothie, but maybe I'll get something else, or maybe I'll be interested in something different. And, it can be part of something that gets you interested in a different way. I am all for, and that's something I've tried to do with Copina Co, like make the packaging really colorful, make something where you like you broke with Good Milk, you're like, I remember first having your product when it was at Blue Bottle, and you're getting something that's free of all of these like seed oils, free of all these fillers, and it's something that's like a gateway that's going to get you a little bit more interested. So if you're having, if you're having a conversation with your friends about the Hailey Bieber smoothie and, all these things, maybe it's going to get you more interested. Well, why are people, doing this? Why are people so excited about these things, and might excite you to do some of your own exploration. So I'm all for it.
I like that perspective.
It's a marketing. It's a great marketing tactic.
Yeah, it's like, I remember I did undergrad business school, and they profiled, steakhouses in Philadelphia. So I went to school in Philadelphia, and they were like, there are so many steakhouses in Philly. They have limited budgets. How do you stand out? And one steakhouse started putting gold flakes literally on their steaks, and they charged like $300 for it. Some number, I forget what it was. But they got all this press because people were like, oh, it's the place with the gold steak. And no one ordered it. But people would go in because it was the place with the spot, so. and at Erewhon too, you can totally get, it's not all $30 waters and, the $19 smoothies. You can totally get, an orange for like $1, and have something, have like a nice snack. But it's smart, and it gets people talking. And I just think what they've done is so brilliant.
It's brilliant, Mark. Their marketing team is brilliant. Yeah, for sure. Making grocery shopping cool and sexy. Like, who would have thought?
During COVID, people were hanging out at
Erewhon so much, though. Like, I love walking into them.
Same, Carolyn. Same. Grocery store is my favorite. I do it 3 times a week on purpose.
Oh, I love
that. Well, tell us about your product journey, because Copina Co has evolved. You started with collagen, and it sounds, you can explain what it is. It's a collagen support supplement, but I use it at home. I replace like how I would use collagen using that product, but I'll let you describe exactly what it is, your like first anchor product.
Yeah, so it really came out of that spot where I was my skin was so dry after taking all of these harsh medications. Plant botanicals helped me heal my skin. I was like, wow, can we?
Hmm.
I was seeing collagen. This about 2015, 2016, around that time. I was like, oh, I'm seeing collagen everywhere. And I don't think people realize that there's not a one-to-one correlation between
Yeah.
having, an external collagen source and your body's ability to absorb it. And can you get these same benefits from plants? And my doctor's like, oh yeah, totally. And that started a journey. So I actually worked with herbalists to create all my products. And what they are a mixture of plants that helps your body synthesize more of its own collagen holistically. So it's more of your collagen instead of an
Yeah.
outside collagen.
Yeah.
And then instead of doing a tincture or a pill or something, I was like, I forget to take those things. And if it doesn't taste good, like I personally don't do it. I have such a sweet tooth. But I will put something yummy in my morning coffee or stir it into my smoothie or put in my oats. So I was like, I'm going to make these vegan collagen supporting things. And it's actually a better way to go about it because it's, again, more of your collagen instead of an external source. And you have it once or two times a day. And you're going to see shinier hair, thicker nails, more supple skin in about a month. It's amazing.
Can we dig into that for a second? Because I
Yeah.
think that collagen is a very confusing topic. And I feel like you might know a little bit more about it than Maddie and I. And I think people would love to understand, why did collagen become such a big thing? How is it actually working with our body? And yeah, I mean, I guess that then leads into why you created your product. But if you could just give us like the quick high level understanding of collagen, that would be amazing.
So this is why people care about collagen and why you probably should. It's something we make. It's an essential protein. Think of it as like a rope in our skin, right? That we want to keep nice and tight. So it really helps with that plump skin, joint health, thick, shiny hair, strong nails. And it's this protein we make. Generally linked to, people have it for a variety of reasons, but generally more youthful appearance. People definitely like. The thing is, we live in the modern world. There are external stressors. There are a lot of chemicals in the air. You could be, just stressed in general, lack of sleep. So I think people have realized that we're not living in caveman land anywhere. We're living in the modern world. We're living with some of these external stressors. And when your body has sort of increased inflammation, you're making less collagen. There's also
and
the natural aging process.
Yeah, I was going to say, over time, don't our bodies just kind of start to make less and less, right?
Yep. So after about the age of 25. So it's like that
Damn.
collagen has all these amazing benefits.
Missed
There's
the
a
boat.
natural aging process. There's external stressors. So you definitely want to increase your collagen. And the typical way of going about it has been to consume cow skins. So essentially ground up cow skins.
You make it sound so delicious.
I know, right? Most often sourced
cow skins.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what it is. And I think it's, again, brilliant marketing. They've taken something that's kind of weird, ground up cow skins, and made it into something that everyone's like, people hear bovine collagen and they don't really understand all the time, like what it is. But it's ground up cow skins. And oftentimes too, most of these companies are sourcing from Brazil. There have been several articles recently in USA Today and then even Women's Health talking about how a lot of land that's being cleared for raising livestock, particularly in sensitive Amazon areas, is highly linked to deforestation, can be reducing our forest's ability to remove carbon from the atmosphere. Not always, the best things. And also too, your body can't fully absorb an outside collagen source. So making more of yours is really a better way to go about it. And a lot of people don't like the taste.
That's the part that gets really confusing. You're scooping collagen into everything and it's like, but how is it actually impacting your body? I mean, it's a source of protein, right? It has protein in it. So I guess that's one thing. Like it's probably, similar protein to a basic protein powder, but how is it actually, or is it actually impacting your collagen production and let's be honest, what we're all really taking it for is the like age defying benefits that we're hoping for.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to look your best. And
that's right, girl.
The best ingredients. But okay, what advocates for animal-based collagen say is that, well, you're taking it, so you're consuming something edible, it goes into your bloodstream, and your body absorbs it that way. But there's not a 1-for-1 ratio on this. It's not like it's not how it works. So wouldn't it be better to increase more of your own collagen production? Having more of your collagen isn't requiring you to absorb anything, fully absorb it. And there have been articles in the New York Times too, talking about, are you actually really absorbing your collagen, or are you just, filtering it out? Read into that however you want, from your body. So what we do is instead we use a blend of things like organic tremella mushroom extract. Tremella has been used for centuries in Eastern medicine for beauty. Amla berry powder used in Ayurveda. We use different things like biotin, hyaluronic acid too, gotu kola. All these things basically have vitamins, amino acids, and minerals that help supercharge your own collagen production from within. So again, more of your collagen instead of from an outside source. And my favorite part is that it tastes awesome and it blends really well. So we've actually had places like Cha Cha Matcha take out the leading animal-based collagen brand, and they put our product in, our vegan collagen product, because they said their lattes taste better and people like their beauty lattes better with our blends. And I think that's really cool. And so
this is amazing.
Not everyone, not everyone is gonna sacrifice something. They aren't necessarily willing to sacrifice taste for getting something else. But if you can get such a win, like, oh, this tastes great, and you're going to see all these benefits, and this could be better than what you were having before, it's like win-win-win.
That's kind of the only option these days, right? Like, people aren't willing to sacrifice anything, any part of it. And thank God for companies like you that understand that and are making products where we don't have to. You can have it all.
Yeah.
Which I think isn't. Yeah, go ahead, Mads. Sorry.
Well, as someone who's tries to be as plant-based as possible, and so many of my clients ask me about this as well, this is just such a great option, and so good to know that there's a good one, because I've always thought that it was kind of people like, you can't get any collagen as good as bovine collagen or a different like of animal-based source. So this is just such a great alternative.
100%. Yeah.
And I think leading with the taste thing, you are kind of conquering another category with taste too. That is like, I have not been able to get into this trend because of the taste. And even the name is like, oh, that doesn't sound good. I've done the research. There's so many benefits. But tell us about these new products that you've launched and what they do and what they're all about.
Yeah. So the trend I think you're talking about is sea moss.
Yes,
right on that?
ma'am.
All right. So we were talking about Erewhon earlier. I was parking my little self at Erewhon. Many, oh man, I've been thinking about this product for like a year and a half, but I was seeing people willingly ingest something that has the name sea moss and is a gel that tastes like you think sea moss would taste.
Oh my gosh.
And spend a lot of money on it. And I was like, why are people doing this? This is very intriguing.
Yes.
Come to find out, it has 92 of the 102 trace minerals your body needs. It's amazing for digestion, amazing for skin health. So I'm like, sign me up. Fantastic. I'm going to do it. So I bought myself a jar. I took a bite of it and I was like, I can't.
No.
I couldn't. Like, I just can't get it down. And then it expired so quickly. So I was about to go, I was like, I really want better skin. I want better gut health. Was really interested in the mineral benefits as well. Cause our land-based food isn't as nutritious as it used to be. It doesn't have the same mineral content. So it's great to supplement through a whole food source, which is what sea moss is. But I just, with the taste, I could not. And then it expired so quickly. It was like $40 for a jar. So I was like, this ain't it. We got to do something else.
This is not the way to sea moss.
No, this is not the way to sea moss. We love that. But no, so I was looking at it and I was like, there are gummies out there, but gummies, people are just kind of wasting their money because some of them only have 25 milligrams, which is like a little thimble, it's doing nothing. It's literally doing nothing, that small amount of product. And people are instead taking in a ton of sugar, sweeteners, or fillers
Yeah.
in there
Yeah.
to consume something, or they're having a pill, which I don't think people actually have them that much, or a tincture. Like I personally have never gotten into those, but something like a drink, we all joke about having, our little beverages. I will have like 5 different beverages in front of me at sometimes during the day. Or even, the TikTok thing, like all the water, it's like the TikTok water thing right now.
Oh God,
Everybody's putting all these.
I'm not cool enough
What's
for
in the
TikTok,
water?
but
Well, okay, so people are basically putting, I forget what they're calling it, some kind of water thing. Of course, I forget as I'm coming on your podcast, but essentially people are putting all of these basically syrups into their waters to just have flavored water just because they feel like it. And what? You're consuming all of these
Yeah.
artificial colors, you're consuming all this
yes.
sugar, all because people just haven't, people want to be drinking more water in general, which is a good thing, but they want something a little more pleasurable to have, right? So they want something that tastes good. So again, it's like, okay, people want things that are tasting good. They are trying to do something nicer for their health. They're trying to drink more water. That is a good intention. So what if we made it, which is the inspiration for this product, what if we made it easy to get something so amazing for you as sea moss in something that tasted as good as a fruity, sugary drink, except this has 2 grams of sugar. It has 200 milligrams of organic Irish sea moss.
Wow.
Yeah, it has organic beet juice for color, organic vegetable juice for color. It's amazing. And this is actually the first shelf-stable sea moss drink on the market, which is really exciting.
That is incredible. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and they're made with coconut water and pink Himalayan salt too, so a lot of hydrating things. But it was a whole journey creating these. I was thinking about it for like a year, and then I started tinkering around in my kitchen, and then it's like, okay, I'm just going to do this. And yeah,
I mean, it's so incredible, and that's why I love women in CPG, because I feel like we have so many problems that we're facing, and we're ready to solve them in ways that are really easy, beautiful, delicious, like accessible. And to create something that doesn't exist and put it on the market, Carolyn, that is fucking amazing.
Yeah, like you saw it, you saw the opportunity, you did the research, you were like, this is what the people want, and you brought a solution.
Thank you.
Like this is.
I launched. Thank you. I launched it about 3 weeks ago, and I'm like,
oh wow,
7 months pregnant right now. So it's definitely,
she's
but
doing it all.
it's having great reception so far. So really excited, but it's not without, it's nerve-wracking moments. But been very, very excited about it. It's cool to work on something and people like it. I do really believe in the journey being, where the real rewards are, not necessarily the end result, but it's nice when people like something you spent a year of your life on.
Yes, I understand that feeling well. Maddie and I both do. And, we were talking to you the day after we announced our podcast launching to the world. So totally get all the feels. Thank you. Totally get all the feels that happen with that. Let's dive in. First of all, I'm ordering some as soon as we get off.
Where can we
wait
get it?
to try it. And what's the best place?
So on my website, and then actually you guys are in Southern California. It actually just launched at Mother's Markets. And then we're launching in some major
I have one right down the street,
months, which I'm really excited about, but definitely on our website, on copinaco.com.
Will it be at Erewhon? I can walk to Erewhon.
Working on that. So launching, working on, if the Erewhon team is listening, you're reviewing it right now. But we do have some other major retailers that I can't share now, but are confirmed for later this spring, which is super exciting.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome. You're amazing. Let's dive into that. Your journey as a founder and an entrepreneur. How's it going?
Brooke wants to relate.
I think in general, here's how I think of it. I always want to be growing. I always want to be moving. And if I say you, but like, this is something I just believe, if you don't look back on yourself a year ago go, what was I thinking? I didn't know all these
Mm-hmm.
things. You're not growing enough.
Mm.
So
Yes.
I
Mm.
really feel like this has been the most challenging but rewarding experience starting my own company, growing it slowly, but growing it from scratch. We're now sold in over 450 stores. We're in,
Wow.
juice bars across the U.S. We're in smoothie bars across the U.S. We're in 300 of those locations, and then we sell online as well. And it's been extremely challenging, but really has taught me so much about myself. And it's such a visceral thing. Like, I just love the whole idea that I get to get up in the morning and I get to make something and then I get to see people eating that thing and
Mm-hmm.
have this
Mm.
instant, click. And I think that's so cool. That's why I love consumable things. Um, and I definitely believe in getting help where you need it.
Mhm.
I am not an expert in anything or everything. So I try to maintain pretty good base knowledge where I can get things off the ground, but I definitely seek out a lot of help along the way. So grateful to people who give me that help.
Smart.
Well, and I think it's easier. Easier is not the right word for sure. It's like more empowering to be on this journey as a founder when you have a personal story like yours, where everything that you are doing is driven by your own experience. And I can't imagine, and maybe you're up for sharing, like how having major skin problems actually impacts your life and how you feel about yourself and your view on the world, and like makes you operate maybe in a different way than what is true to yourself.
Yeah. This is okay. This is taking me back to a whole different mindset because I think there's kind of a hierarchy of, you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? You have
Mhm.
shelter,
Mm-hmm.
to take care of that. You can, talk about relationships. Once you're doing that, you're getting to your self-actualized self. Um, I was just thinking about my skin all the time. I was so embarrassed about it. I would wear
Mm-hmm.
super heavy makeup everywhere. I remember, when I was dating, I was like, oh my gosh, what if a guy sees me without makeup on? What?
Mm.
Come on.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
that was my and it was a limiting mindset because
Mm-hmm.
I was limiting which it doesn't need to be that. You do not need to have clear skin to go out in the
Mhm.
world and do this. This is maybe my age, just where I was at the time, but I was really upset about it because I felt like, there's been a lot of work done having models, showing models with various skin issues, eczema, just, acne, all these different things, but I
Mm-hmm.
felt that I just had to have clear skin. And
Yeah.
I would think about it all the time. I didn't want people to see me without makeup on. And because I was thinking about, you know, perfect skin or beauty all the time, that's mental space where I wasn't thinking about other
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think you only have so much mental space too. So you need to be curating the thoughts that are in your mind. It's like, watch your thoughts, they become your actions. Watch your actions, or watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your character.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. So I think you have to curate what goes on in your head.
Well, and the feeling of, I mean, yes, just having that top of mind, but how unempowering it feels when you can't figure out a solution to, when you're like, why is this happening to me? It's, I had that experience with my gut,
Yeah.
and I don't know how it would have been if you could see the pain I was having on my gut on my face. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just debilitating, and it impacts how you show up in life in every way.
And you just don't feel good. Like I mean, I wasn't, I'll let you read into this, but I was not digesting my food, you know,
Mhm.
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 as one
Mhm.
would like for days and days at a time. And I walked and my skin was just so tight and so dry. I remember being in Philadelphia in the snow and my lips cracking, my skin flaking from all these heavy medications did this to me. And I was walking around feeling uncomfortable all the time. And that is no way to live. So I think it's when you talk about health, you know, I think what gets lost sometimes is that it's a quality of life discussion.
Mm.
Don't you
Absolutely.
I love the whole idea
Yes.
of like, I want to be as healthy as possible at all times. Like I want to feel like, what if there aren't limits to how great I could feel or how healthy I could be? That's amazing. And that's something
Oh
I'm
my.
interested in pursuing instead of just, that's why I continue to see a holistic doctor. Like even while being pregnant, I see a normal
Yeah.
doctor and I see my holistic doctor. And I, I really believe in investing that, in that for myself.
Girl,
Is that
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You're talking to two people that are very
Oh my
much on
God.
that same page, and life has taught us that that is a very important value and worthwhile thing to be striving for. It pays tenfold.
Well, I was going to ask if going to a holistic doctor, if someone was having gut issues, is that the first place you would tell them to go?
Yeah, I think so. Cause even like even getting, okay. So most I think it's so confusing. There's so much going on if you've got issues. Because if you, like, a lot of people will go get an expensive probiotic or something, it could be the wrong probiotic for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
There's so many, and I even find it confusing. I mean, I'm someone in the field, but there's so much marketing out there, and there's so many drinks that say, oh, well, we have probiotic ingredients, things like that. And I remember I was 100% plant based. I was gluten free. I was drinking a
Yeah.
ton of kombucha, which actually the kombucha was not helping me. But I was
Yeah.
doing all these things kind of self researching, but I really needed help. Sometimes, like, there's a difference
Yeah.
for when you've got like something truly going on where you need a medical professional and when you can kind of do your own thing. Like there's triage and then there's maintenance, you know?
Yes.
So true.
So yeah, I'm 100% believer in it because I think everyone's got their own sort of, everyone's gut flora is completely different too.
And I think when things are so thrown off that it's like expressing itself in these really clear ways, it just means everything's out of whack in your body, and you need
Mm-hmm.
some professional help figuring out how to reset to a place that's manageable, and then you can start to add in and test the different stuff that you see advertised to you on
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram and the things that interest you. But yeah, definitely getting to that like level set place with some professional help
Mm-hmm.
is important.
One thing that's been really interesting, kind of the experience of being pregnant, has it made me just so much more aware too of what I'm consuming. I've always been someone who's been very aware of it. But one thing I thought was so interesting is my holistic doctor recommended this book. She's like, read Real Food for Pregnancy. Super
I
interesting.
just recommended that to my pregnant friend. It was my favorite book while I was pregnant. Yeah.
Great
Mm-hmm.
book. That's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah. But do you
Yes.
remember in it, they talk about sea vegetables a ton. And
That's funny.
I
I
was
don't
shocked.
remember that, but yeah, that's
Well,
amazing.
maybe these are the words. Maybe these words jumped off the page because I was developing a product that had to do with it. But
You're like, it's a
maybe
sign.
that small correlation had something to do with it. But no, like just I put a sheet of nori seaweed, for example, in my salad that had 85% of my daily B12s. That had a huge amount of iron in it. I've been lucky to not be anemic. I consume a lot of sea vegetables during my pregnancy, and just all these different minerals, but so many different. It was talking about how, for example, women in Japan consume so many more sea vegetables in their diets, and they're getting so many more nutrients. Ocean-based foods are very, very high in these minerals, whereas our land-based foods are finding their minerals depleted and their vitamins depleted, which is super interesting. But they were like, oh yeah, you should be consuming, whether or not you're pregnant, you should be consuming all these sea vegetables. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. But yeah, just all for feeling your best,
I love that, and incredible that you've had this journey, created these products, and you're about to birth a little girl who
Yeah, I know.
your journey, the lessons you have, the way you are able to speak about it and treat yourself, like how impactful that will be for a little girl in this world is really cool and really exciting.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm excited. And Brooke, you have a daughter, right?
Yeah, she's 2 now somehow.
Oh, so how do you think? Do you have any advice to share? Or how do you think you've been able to share some of your wisdom with your kid, or maybe they're
The
sharing
advice
their
is
wisdom with you?
yes. Well, buckle up. I think it's such a journey and it's so incredible. And I think you probably have all the tools And it's now just about being patient and letting them reveal themselves to you. Because, you know, Maddie's heard me say this. They just come to this earth perfect and truly themselves. And I think it will be a really good reminder for you. And for me, it was a trigger and maybe a trigger for you, but definitely in good ways of realizing I need to get back to myself and get back to that pure perfection.
Right.
And we just, you know, we come to this earth knowing who we are and being so free. And that is such an incredible thing to witness. It's I said it before, it's incredible to see a soul turn into a human. And you're
Oh,
like, man, I need to protect this soul for as long as possible and like let this soul be exactly who they are for as long as possible and hopefully forever. But you're gonna love it. Little girls are freaking amazing. They're amazing. And it will be a mirror for you, hopefully in, you know, in a lot of good ways. But yeah, there's just no way to explain the journey. It's incredible. It's hard, but
yeah.
it's like so amazing.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. I think I've accepted that I'm ready in the sense that I will never feel 100% ready. But you know what I'm excited for too?
Mhm.
Like, I forget where I heard this. Someone was talking, I don't know if it was Sarah Blakely or something. Someone's talking, you know, if you're at the beach, yeah, this is in terms of, you know, just what kids can teach us. If you're at the beach, the adults are, you know, often sitting on the sand. They're like, oh, the water's cold. I'm not going to go in. Whereas the little kids are like, I don't know the water's cold. And I also don't
Mm.
care. I
And I don't
want to
care.
live life and have fun. And I'm going to sprint in that water and get in. And I don't know, that just hit something in me. I love that purity and that energy. And,
Yes.
and yeah.
It brings out the little kid in you for sure. And it's so much more fun to hang out with a little kid than it is most adults. And it's just, yeah. I'm excited for you. It's hard to, when you're on this side of it, it's hard to prepare. And on your side, it's hard to prepare and even have any real understanding of what the journey is going to be like. And you don't know until you go through it. But if you can just be as present as you can be, like it is an incredible ride. And I hope you're in a position with your company where you're able to take some time away and really enjoy the early days of motherhood, because I can tell you, and I understand right now, Copina Co feels like the absolute most important thing in your life, and you have no idea how anything could feel more important. That's about to change. That will change very quickly. And it doesn't mean Copina Co is not still important. And it might feel as important as it you know, might not have gone down in a level. Your just capacity for love and caring and perspective is so different on the other side of the second that baby comes out. It changes.
I hear people
Lucky
say that
women
they
can do
didn't
it
know
all.
they could love so much until their kid came. Like their
Oh
capacity for
yeah.
love grows. Yeah,
Oh yeah. You have a dog, right?
I do.
Yes, you do. And I know you
Yeah.
love your dog because I've seen it on Instagram. And okay, take
Stella.
that love.
Yeah.
Stella, we love you, girl.
Oh,
Girl, it's a girl.
girl.
But sorry, honey.
You're about to be rejected.
the love, and not that, but the love for a baby. I mean, I still am obsessed with my dog, but was for sure like thought that was as much love as I could give a living creature. Not 10 times, 100 times more. And you won't believe it, right? And I see you looking at me like, yeah, sure, maybe for you. No, you will love this kid 100 times more than you love your dog.
This is ridiculous.
I'm so excited. It is funny. You know, not to go too much into pregnancy stuff, but I was like, you know, the first trimester, you're like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, sure. This is the thing. Even second trimester. And then, you know, I think at 20 weeks I'm tired. So I went for a nap and I felt the little flutter and I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean, there's something inside me. And just the mental shift of like, oh, this is not just my body. There is something in here.
Something is
And
happening.
I love it. And I want to protect it. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. You know what's crazy though is my older sister just had a girl 2 weeks ago, and my sister-in-law, my husband's twin, just had a girl yesterday.
No.
Oh my God.
And I'm having a girl in like 2 months. So
Oh, you guys are so lucky. That's
lots of female
incredible.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
Oh,
Yeah.
excited.
what a
That's
blessing.
yes, that's
Super
incredible.
excited.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch that journey for you. It's
Thank you.
going to be the best one yet. And we have a question. Mads, do you want to share the question that we ask all of our guests?
I would love to. All right, Carolyn. Could you describe in one word or a sentence your past self, your present self, and your future self?
This is a good question. And I did think about this one. I would say forward. I always want to be moving forward. I always want to be
Mm-hmm.
growing. I always want to be changing. I want to take life for what it is. I want to feel this moment, but I want it to inform the future as well. And yeah, that's something I just always want to be growing and changing and, taking it all in.
I love
That's
that.
beautiful.
Well, you're about to have no choice. Kids will
Push you forward.
Yes, a kid propels that, and in such a beautiful way. And you have created such an incredible thing with Copina Co. We're so excited to share the products with our community. As soon as we get off this, I'm going to your website and buying some sea moss. I saw there's multiple flavors, right? Is there a favorite flavor? Give us the inside scoop.
Oh, well, there's a new variety pack we just launched, but the flavors are passion fruit and citrus blossom. And they're both incredible. Passion fruit is like a wonderful, that's the one with organic beet juice. It's a wonderful, like pink color. It tastes like passion fruit. And then the citrus is a blend of orange blossom, orange, and lemon, and just really, really refreshing. So I would say you can save money when you buy our variety pack. But I love they're
Okay, that's stuff.
ordering
I'm gonna have to
that.
get the variety pack. Yeah,
I'm ordering the collagen. Let's go. Your products, all of them. They all sound amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for creating them and putting such beautiful stuff out into the world. What is the best place for our community to find you, follow along, purchase the products, support you?
Thank you for asking. Love it when people support us on our website, copinaco.com. You can also find us in your local retailer there. We do have a store locator. And then you can follow us at Copina Co or on my personal handle at Carolyn Yachanin.
Amazing.
Awesome. And we will link all of that in the show notes for everyone. Carolyn, you're amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I'm so honored to be on your podcast, and congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Please support Carolyn. We'll keep you posted on our journey. Maddie and I will both be consuming her products on a regular basis. And I
Sending
already
selfies.
feel like, yes, I can already feel the aging in reverse happening. So I am so excited. If you enjoyed this conversation, please share it with a friend. Follow us on your listening platform of choice and follow us on Instagram at Expanders Club. We love you all. Thanks for hanging with us today.
Thanks all. Bye.